Hello and welcome to IBTimes TV. I'm Leanna Brinder, Business Editor for the International Business Times. Joining me now is Hugh Watchorn. He's the CFO at Bonhams. So hi, thanks for joining us.
Pleasure.
So you've been at Bonhams for 13 years. Can you tell me how the workforce has changed over that time?
Predominantly we've grown and we've grown internationally. So we've gone from about 150 staff to about 900 staff. We've gone from, 10 countries to about 50 countries. So the expansion's been both in number and in geographical diversity. So with that comes, of course, quite a few challenges.
Since the credit crisis, naturally that would have meant that your business has had to adapt. Can you tell me how you cut costs or changed the company?
Well, obviously following the crisis, the demand in the art market fell for about 12 months. Fortunately, it picked up pretty quickly in 2009 and beyond. But as a response to the crisis, we had to take fairly clear action and reduce our cost base, which we did at that time. Can
you elaborate on where those cuts came from?
We got rid of things that we thought weren't vital. We went through everything, every department, every P&L, and analysed it in quite a cold way. But we also at the same time recognised that we had to prepare for the upturn, which we knew would come as well. So we couldn't cut too hard and too fast, particularly on the specialist valuing auction side, rather than the other sides of the, if you like, the support staff side. So yes, we did close offices, we did close departments. We tried very hard to keep a weather eye on where the growth would come post upturn. And as I said before, I'm glad to report that the upturn came quite quickly in 2009, a year or so in our market, a year or so after the fallout, and we were actually in a good lower cost base. We still had the people we needed around to drive forward the company over the next few years.
Well, can you tell me where the growth areas for you guys are in terms of a very tentative recovery?
If you look at a real-time example, China's biggest auction has floated on Hong Kong on Monday of this very week. I think it was 600 times oversubscribed. So there's a huge opportunity amongst the Chinese and Asian market, which is still predominantly in Hong Kong, though it's also moving to China as well. So we see a huge opportunity within Asia, but also within the US and the more traditional markets of the US and Europe. There's still huge growth. You know, as you may have read in the papers, prices being achieved in some of the major artworks have been staggering over the last 3, 4, 5, 6 months.
Well, how about India? That is certainly a growth opportunity for your market.
India, we have a fledgling operation in India. We see it as a long-term play, not a short-term, quick win situation. But yes, you're right. Certainly, Indian art as a category has grown hugely in the last, 10 years, but maybe a little less than that, 10 years. And we think that will carry on. But and again, that represents another opportunity for us to work on.
So emerging markets do provide a lot of opportunities. However, over the last 2 months, a lot of investors have actually been pulling out their cash and prompting this emerging market sell-off. Does that concern you in any way?
Well, interestingly, that for us is a huge opportunity, because where that cash may be safer, we're not saying you should invest in art, but nevertheless, some people are taking the view that they'll put their cash into wine or pictures or cars or whatever it is that they fancy, rather than have their cash sitting in an account which may earn them a very low rate of interest. So for us, sometimes where that uncertainty or risk is perceived by buyers, we actually benefit.
So apart from new territories, maybe you can tell me some other places for growth opportunities.
Well, we don't in Bonhams see us opening any more sale rooms. We have our portfolio of sale rooms across the territory that we're in, and we see that staying as it is. But we expect and hope that within our existing markets we'll be able to attract some great things for sale. Based on a very strong, very professional, I think very trusted workforce. So if you bring your Picasso to us, we will look after you very well. I think the more of that we do, the word spreads, the brand is growing. We've recently, as you may be aware, reopened our rebuilt cell rooms in New Bond Street last October. That's had a huge positive response from buyers, consignors, press, staff, everyone basically. And all that has helped to build a brand such that people with things to sell, be they cars, pictures, wine, whatever it is, will come to us and hopefully ask us to sell them for them.
So rounding off, one of the things quickly like to talk about is fine wine. You mentioned it slightly beforehand. Do you see the market as highly volatile?
Well, I'm not an expert on wine. I'll just caveat this by saying that, though I love drinking it, I'm not an expert. But I think from where we see it, I mean, the first growths, for example, and the Sassicailles and the fine Burgundies and what have you, those wines are, there's a market for them, there's a market price for them. Markets go up, markets go down, and buyers and sellers need to take their view on whether they think that's going to, but from my point of view, I just enjoy drinking it really. I don't think what it costs, to enjoy drinking it. So, but we hope to carry on selling wine and go forward with it really.
Well, thank you very much for joining us.
Pleasure.
That was Hugh Watchorn, he's the CFO of Bonhams.